Good morning, and here we are at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, coming live, and it's already been quite a busy online sort of a morning. I've done a live to the team page with updates, because we have updates come through every Tuesday morning. So I've done a live team update this morning. I've done a Zoom training session this morning. So it is a little bit like, what time is it? So I've literally stopped long enough to pour myself out a cup of tea, which is why I'm a bit late. Morning, Caroline. And we've got bingo this evening. So much going on. And so here I am thinking, right, okay, Facebook Live. What are we going to do today? So you are warned. That is where we're at this morning. We are at a what are we going to do today sort of a stage of proceedings. But I'm sure that we're going to come up with something. We always do. So why should today be any exception? I'm just digging through as I chat to you some of my little oddments of card and things I've got here beside me, looking for a nice colour combination. I quite like that, I think, because I thought that one of the things we would do is on Friday, last Friday, we had the dies come up for what we were going to play with for our All Request Friday, and at least one person had said, oh, please do the best Plaid Builder dies. Morning, Lisa. Morning again, Lisa. Please do the plaid dies, the best Plaid Builder dies, because I want to see what they do. And at that stage, I'd not seen what they did either. So I think we'll have a bit of a play with those this morning. I've got all sorts of oddments wandering around here. We've got a bingo evening on this evening, so lots more still to do today. So it's one of those really busy days with lots of things going on, and it's like, right, what next? Where next? So let's have a bit of a play with this a Plaid Builder die. Now then, it comes with two dies in it. So you get this one here with these little crisscrossy bits on, and then you get this one that looks like a bit like a prison window, like you're behind bars. So there we are. There's an idea for if you needed to do a prison card, that would be perfect. And we're going to use some different colours to build up this plaid. And I'm just wondering if they don't need to be slightly bigger than that. I don't think that's any bigger, is it? So that one, that's fine. We'll work with that. Okay. In fact, I think it's right. I'm deciding which colours I want where. I think it's that bit I need to go for a slightly bigger bit with. Let's have a little look and see if we can find a slightly bigger bit of old olive cardstock. I mean, I know we can because I've got whole big sheets of it, but yeah, I think we need to go for a bigger piece. This is actually quite a big die. Let's have a look how big it is. So it measures, so it does actually measure 4 1/4 wide inches by sort of 5 3/4, which is, it is 14.9 by 10.5. So it is an A5 piece of card. Brain is now going to total mush. So we do need a piece of A5 card for that. So it is a complete card front. See, that will fit that just nicely. So we'll do the same with this bit. So we've got here a piece of old olive card. We've got a piece of Just Jade, which of course is one of the new in colours. And then I've got a little bit there that is Pool Party. So I'm going to start with this one here, I think. Hi Francis, and this funny little crisscrossy patterned one. So let's run that through the Big Shot and see what happens. Just wiggled. So I'm just going to run this through the die cutting machine to see what we get. I think that has cut on one run, but I'm going to take it back just for good measure. And as you can see, all those little bits are now popping out. Now what we should have done is use this die yesterday, because look, they'd have been perfect little windows, wouldn't they, for our little house. So let's just pop all of these bits out. Maybe we can get the brush out, but I think they're just all falling out almost, aren't they? So that's just skimmed on that edge. That bit of card could have done with being slightly bigger, just to have got the full edge on there. So that's that bit. Let's bring all these little bits to one side. These would be really good if you were making sort of bonfire pictures or something, cards. You could have those built up. So there is, if you're doing sort of, there is a stamp set, isn't there, in the catalogue now with campfire and things in. They would make excellent little bits of wood for your bonfire if you were using that stamp. But we'll tuck that to one side. So that's one piece. So one of the dies gives you this pattern here. Candles. Yes. Little flames on them all. Oh, you could have a play with those, couldn't you? Good shout, Jane. So let's just move. I've got lots more candles over here. I'm just brushing those onto the floor though. So our second die is this big die here that we said looked a bit like prison windows. So let's run that one through the machine. I'm going to bring my mat over. And look, with this one, you get this wonderful crisscross, and you get all of these bits just here. So again, we could have used those yesterday in our house. But you could use that if you cut some out of a few different colours. You could be creating sort of multicoloured grids and all sorts of things with those, couldn't you? So let's put those to one side for a minute. Because what we've got here now is we've got our background colour that we've picked out, which is Pool Party in this case. We've got our green crisscrosses, our old olive crisscrosses, and then on the top we're going to lay that piece just there. And look at that, we have a beautiful plaid background. Really lovely. Just is so effective. And I cut another one out the other day. So this one has got a early espresso background with a petal pink piece just there and calypso coral on the top. They're just really pretty, aren't they? They'd be nice on they'd make nice covers, wouldn't they, for notebooks. Particularly this one could be even quite a male sort of notebook, or diaries, to decorate diaries and things. That would make quite a nice cover, wouldn't it? But just lovely. You could perhaps do this section here in one of the sort of textured papers, have it sort of furry peeping through the background there, or glittery. So lots of options. So a really beautiful die gives you some really beautiful effects, and you could play for hours with different colours, matching up the different colours and what works and what you like and all sorts of things. So let's move our brown and corally one out of the way for a minute and come back to this one here and have a bit of a think about what we're going to do with it. So obviously you can use the entire panel. So as I say, if you were doing something like a notebook or a diary or something like that, you might want to use nearly all of that. Might need to cut it down a little bit. There we go. Let's so that would be slightly too big for that. If you were to trim it, it's about right lengthways. If you were to trim it off, so you're giving yourself a bit of a border just down this way, that would be rather lovely. In fact, let's do that. Let's have a play. I'm going to stick it together first, I think, before I start trimming it, so that we've got our solid plaid background. So I'm just going to run some glue along here. We will pop that so that that's sort of fairly even sitting on there. And then we'll take this one and we'll put some squiggles of glue in the solid panels. And we will stick that on top. Not like that. Should we have it that way or that way, I think. So let's give that a press down. I'll take the mini trimmer then. I'm going to cut that straight down there and possibly trim a little bit off of there. And then we'll trim a bit off the top, and we'll neaten that up on the bottom. Looking good. Let me get rid of this sticker that says that it's an A6 notebook. I think we know that. And we will stick that onto this front here. Hi Glenda. And I think because we've got quite a masculine feel to this particular, the colourways on this notebook, I think if we come in with the beautiful world, and if we have to think about for the world map dies, we can very definitely have a scroll coming on here and an inkwell. It'd be nice to have a bit of a greeting coming across here that says life's a beautiful journey. And let's see how that goes as to whether or not we're going to add anything else into it. So I think we'll have go old olive. The ink, well, for the quill. Oh. Do do do. We just want a little bit of Whisper white cardstock to stamp our quill. That dropped. Oh, and now we've got a, oh, look, it had a dimensional back. My husband did say to me the other day, those things get everywhere. He said, I even found one at work. I said, well, that wasn't me. I didn't take it to your work. Still overstamped that slightly, but never mind, we're going to cut it out anyway. So that's that one. We might possibly go old olive with the inkwell as well. So let's cut those two out. Right, our greeting. We'll find a little bit more pool party and we'll stamp that. Let's see how Just Jade comes out. If need be, we can have a change of plan. Nope, quite like that. Sometimes if you're stamping on coloured card, you get quite a different colour. Let's cut that out. We'll actually have a old olive piece in the back, making it up as we go along. Now, no, not quite, I don't think. I think we'll leave that. I'm wondering whether we want a globe on it as well. Yeah, that might be quite nice. Oh, fly landing on me. So I think a globe. I just don't want to add in too much. Perhaps we'll go with pool party for that. There's our piece of pool party cardstock on just there. Let's have a look. Or actually, I'm going to have a change of thought. I'm going to cut the circle from pool party because that would make sense then, because that would be like the sea background, and we'll have the actual globe landy bit in old olive. Let's run that through, see what that looks like. So we're just sticking to these same colours. Just flick out all the little bits from here. quite good, isn't it? And perhaps we'll just bring in, got some old olive ribbon. We've got a bit of just jade ribbon. Let's do some sticking. And we've got that stuck to that. That's good. Let's get our world stuck on. I'll give that a good press down. Let's put our that in place. Yeah, and I think I'm going to stick it flat just because as it's a notebook it may be in and out of bags and things, and if it's raised up too much things will get caught. Stick that down on there, give that a good press. Let's put some glue on the back of our quill coming across here, and then we'll put our little ink well down the bottom here. And we'll take a little bit of old olive, a little bit of just jade, and a little bit of braided linen. And let's just pop those through here. We'll give those a bit of a knot and trim the ends off. Just to add a bit of nonsense in there. Trying to think what was it was corners, wasn't it, we had in that was the embellishments that came with this. I knew that there was some sort of metallic. I couldn't think what it was. Let's have a little look. Digging about in my box of bits and pieces, looking for the right pot of bits and pieces. Here they are. So we could just add, perhaps just in each corner, each opposite corner, just like that, one of those little metallic I'm going to put them on with glue dots. I think before I gave this away to somebody, I probably would stoke up my heat gun, possibly my glue gun, and possibly just glue gun these into place. Glue dots are good, but a glue gun might just give it a little bit more added stick. But we're going to be able to look and see. Oh, I wonder where that one had gone. It stuck to my finger. It's just proving that it has plenty of stick. Look at me, I have lots of stick. We'll just put those on there as well. Look at that, that's rather funky, isn't it? So that is just that. I mean, the main part of that is that plaid dye in the background. Isn't it lovely? And obviously you could make something similar to that in a card. It doesn't have to be a notebook, but those aren't expensive notebooks. They were ones I picked up in a cheapy shop, very cheapy. I quite like the fact that they are not coloured, that they are just the sort of chipboard background. It gives you lots of scope to play with. So there is that one. So what else could we play with our plaids? Let's just get rid of a few of these little bits. They do create lots of little bits, I think, is one thing we've learned. So you could, as I'm sitting watching, you could sort of cut, looking at these from sort of patterned papers and things, and let's say use those for quilting. That would be really pretty. But for now, let's have a play with a very different colourway. Let's see. So we've gone sort of greens. We've looked at one that's browns and those sorts of things. I think we should go really bright. What should we have? Let's go mad. That's fairly mad, isn't it? Mad colours. I don't have anything big enough in any of those, so I might need to cut some new pieces. So there's some melon mambo. Bermuda Bay and Granny Apple Green. So I think we'll go Granny Apple Green in the background. So let's cut that as our background piece. I'm thinking a bit of melon mambo in the middle for the sort of highlighty stripe in the background. And then we'll go, is that a 10.5? It is, excellent. So we'll have Bermuda Bay in the front. So our background piece, hello Mara, is that one. This one is going to be this piece. Pop that up there. We're not going to need our, I don't think we'll need our world for this one. We'll decide what we're going to have for this one in a moment. So here's our bit just here with some more little squares that will go with these little squares. You just need a box to gather all those up in, and then when you've got a collection, you'll be able to play quilting and things with them and matching them up. That's some grab. A brush, and we'll just, oh, that one looks as if it could have done with going over it again on that little bit just there. I didn't turn it over and look. If so there just is a little row that is not quite as well cut as the rest. Oh, come here. Can't get my hands on that little bit just there. So just doubly check that they've run out, that they're all cut through everywhere, because, as I say, lots of machines will have a bit of a spot that perhaps misses slightly, and that's that bit just there, but we will work around that and trim it. I could have laid it, re-put it in and cut it. In fact, probably would have saved myself some time had I have done. There we are. I do believe we are there. Have I got you? Come here. Every time you think you're there, you find another bit. Right, good to go. Pink one we're going to run through with the jailhouse window die. bring that over there to knock that off, because then we're going to have all of those squares again. That we can add to our pile of shapes to play with. Sort of thing you could pop in a box for the grandchildren to play sticking with. And I'll dig out little squares in a minute as well. So let's move some of this debris out of the way, and let's look at what we've got here. So we have got a granny apple green background, a melon mambo grid piece at the bottom, and Bermuda Bay on the top. That's rather lovely, isn't it? Now, what shall we have? I'm going to cut that down, I think. So we'll stick it together before we cut it down, because then we know everything is in place and not going to move. So just run some glue along there. So we are the 30th of June. Today is the last day to be able to get that extra special offer on your starter kit. Have a new Bay top on. So at the moment, until about 11 o'clock this evening, if you, well, I think actually it's officially 10:59, if you choose your starter kit, your 99, spend your £99 and get your £130 worth of product of your choice, and then you can add in that extra bundle of your choice from the annual catalogue. And say you've only got until this evening to do that. You've also only got until that time this evening to benefit from the extra stamping rewards you can get if you place, or you and a group of friends together place an order that totals £200 or more. So instead of getting £20 stamping rewards, free things that you can choose whatever you like, you would actually get £40 worth of stuff to choose. So that's not to be coughed at either. But again, as I say, you've only got until this evening to do that. And then tomorrow, if you are a Stampin' Up demonstrator, you are going to get to be able to place a pre-order and I'm just trying to make that a little bit even either side. You're going to be able to get your pre-order on Christmas, autumn, winter things. That's all going to start this evening. So there's lots there. So it's worth joining up today to be able to do that tomorrow. And of course, anything that you place when you get around to placing your pre-order, you would then get a 20% discount on. All good, exciting stuff. And I also see that I've put a blog post up today about my Stamp a Stack class. So if you'd like to join us in that, booking closes for that. So for the July Stamp a Stack class, we're going to be using Touches of Textures. Bookings for that close on Sunday. So you've got up until Sunday to play with that. I think I'm going to go Timeless Tropical. We're going to have some flowers and some leaves from the Timeless Tropical set. So let's get the In the Tropics dies out. A big flower, a small flower, and a leaf. I'll go Memento. I'm going to ink up that big hibiscus bloom. With some Memento. These flowers are slightly different, so I think what I'll do with those, I think I'll have a piece of white card. Lots of little bits of Whisper White in there, but I think I need a slightly bigger piece than that. And I think I'll get the Melon Mambo ink for these ones, and we'll stamp them in Melon Mambo on white. And then the leaves will go back to our Memento. Just use that for the cardstock on there. Still there. Come on off. No, it's still there. Oh dear. I don't think it is cardstock. I think it's something a little bit gunky on the surface of the stamp. It's almost like it's picked up a bit of a glue dot or something. Sorry about that. Let's see if that's stamping better. Let's swing that bit of card round. That's better. We've lost the odd little black blob on there. Let's cut these out. So tropical flowers from a very tropical coloured card. One flower, one leaf, one big flower, oh, that one's moved slightly. We'll have to wiggle with that one. The die moved slightly, so let's tuck that one so that it's sitting under there a little bit. Another leaf and another flower. The leaf moved that time. And then one more leaf. Once I've found the die that I've just thrown on the floor. Oh. There we go. And to actually take a, what's this, Daffodil Delight watercolour pencil, I'm going to add in a bit of yellow in this middle. Perhaps just add in a touch of yellow in there, and then this is a Melon Mambo one. Let's add in a bit more shading with a Melon Mambo pencil. There we And perhaps just add in a bit of melon mambo coming out of the centre of this one. And this one. So you could obviously take a lot more time at this. And just a bit more green. Okay. I think we'll have a bit of swirly of dotty ribbon, just because we can. Seems as good a reason as any. I might actually put the swirly of dotty ribbon across the back of this flower just to give us something to anchor it to. Blocks are so useful, aren't they, for holding things down? So let's stick this mat to here. Let's grab a few dimensionals and we'll have this flower lifted up. So we've given the majority of its colour from the cardstock that we stamped it onto. We've just added in some additional colour by shading with those watercolour pencils. And have this one coming out here. The leaf in the background there. Let's have another leaf sort of coming out there. And then if we have that flower tucked in there. With another leaf just there. For some reason my little box of pearls and things has gone walkabout, so I'll have to have a good search for that. I'm not sure where that's gone. I couldn't see it yesterday either when I wanted it. I've obviously buried it in an incredibly safe place. So we'll take some, I've got a few rhinestones here, so we'll have some rhinestones instead, and a Bermuda Bay stamping blend. So we'll cut in 3 of those, and then we'll decide on a greeting. We'll just have a little thank you in there, and I will go with Bermuda Bay ink, and a little bit of Whisper White card, and I think we'll have that stitched banner just there, will be perfect. So I can't remember who it was on last Thursday when we put up the poll that said, oh, please can we have the Plaid Builder, because I want to see what it looks like or how it works. I'll have to find out who it was and give them a shout out. Let's put a couple of little dimensionals on the back of that. Add that in as well. Pop in our Bermuda Bay rhinestones, one there and one there, and I think we'll have one up there. How's that? That's very bright and bold, isn't it? So one very pink and girly, one far more masculine, but both of them using that really fab Plaid Builder die. And then we've got all of these little bits that we're going to play with. Little squares and bits to make candles and bonfires and all sorts of things. Lots of little bits there that we can be using to play with. So I hope you have enjoyed our quick play with that die. Not bad, considering when we hit go live we had no idea, or I had no idea where today was going, but lovely. So I will be back tomorrow, which is Wednesday at 9 o'clock, so normal time tomorrow, everything back to a normal pattern for tomorrow, and have a lovely rest of the day. See some of you for bingo later, and don't forget to message me if you want to get your starter kit today, or you want to put in that order and earn those extra rewards, because you've got until this evening to do that. So talk to you soon.